Welcome back, everyone. Today we are making an egg bake, a Southwest egg bake to be exact. You could also make this as a scrambled eggs if you want to. Just for the sake of easiness, we are doing it as an egg bake. So we'll start with a fairly large pan here. This is an 8-serving breakfast because we like to meal prep for the whole week. So we'll start with just a little bit of oil here, 2 to 3 tablespoons, just kind of enough to make sure nothing sticks to the bottom. And then we are adding sweet potatoes. You can see I started with too small of a pan first, but we'll go ahead and put those in here, and it is equivalent of 2 medium sweet potatoes. So we'll get all of that in there, and we'll let this cook for roughly 10 minutes or so, and then we'll be combining in our peppers and our onions, which we have already chopped up, diced up. So we'll cook those for a little bit before we start on the eggs. Once your sweet potatoes have kind of started to soften up here a little bit, we're going to go ahead and add in about 2 cups of chopped peppers, or roughly 3 to 4 poblano peppers cut up. We're actually using chili peppers just left over from the garden, but you can decide on how spicy you want this. If you don't like spicy, go ahead and use bell peppers or those poblanos. If you like spicier, you can kind of mix it up with the chili peppers or jalapenos in here too. We'll add those, and then we're going to add about 1.5 cups of onions to cook in here. We'll get this mixed up and let those start cooking down a little bit too, so it's not too crunchy in our egg bake. And once these start to cook down, then we will pull out our baking sheet and mix together the eggs and the spices. Alright, so once we have our vegetables mostly cooked here, we left them not all the way cooked because they'll cook a little bit in here. We're going to start scooping them into our pan, and then we'll work on the egg mixture. Alright, so now we have some of our vegetable mixture in here. We did about half first just to make sure we could mix it, and then we'll probably top it with the other half and gently mix. And I'm gently beating 12 eggs together right now. So if there's enough room in your pan, you can always add more. Just keep in mind this will add to the cook time, but if you're looking for a higher protein, you can add more eggs and cut down on the sweet potatoes. But you can see we kind of gently mix this together. Next, we're going to go ahead and add in our chili powder. So we'll be doing 4 teaspoons of chili powder. Once again, if you like really spicy food, feel free to go a little heavier on this. Or if you hate spicy food, you can go a little bit lighter. But there's a lot of starchy vegetable in here, and so you just want to make sure there's some flavor because that sweet potato can really suck up the spice. So we did 4 teaspoons of the chili powder. Next we're going to bring in our cumin, and we'll be doing 2 teaspoons of cumin. And then we will finish it with some salt. And we will be doing 2 teaspoons of salt. And while this might be able to handle more salt, we like to leave it so that you can add salt and pepper to taste at the table, versus if you get too much salt in there, you can't take it away once you've made your dish. So go ahead and mix this very well. Again, try and get those spices dispersed in here. You can see our cumin is clumping just a little bit, which is why we're using a fork to do this. You could also use a whisk, which is, the real purpose of a whisk. I'm just adverse to them because I hate cleaning whisks, so just a lazy factor, I guess. So if you do the math, this does come out to an egg and a half per serving. So if you want more protein, feel free to make it 2 eggs per serving. Kind of whatever you prefer. So now that we have this fairly well mixed, you can see there's a few clumps, but those should kind of disperse in the vegetables over here. I'm going to go ahead and dump this over the top. Again, I'm going to scrape the bowl, try and get more of my chili powder and cumin out of there. They like to stick to the side. Alright, and now once we have that, we're just going to try and even this out. You can see with the egg mixture, it fills in fairly nicely, but we're just slightly going to turn this. We are using a 9x13 cake pan to bake this in. And you can see we have plenty of room, so we could actually go ahead and add more eggs if you wanted to. We are going to add in the rest of our vegetable mixture now, so we'll grab that and come back. Alright, so we went ahead and added in the rest of our mixture here. You can see it just fills in real nicely. That's the nice part about the scrambled egg portion, is it just, the liquidy part just fills in. So I'm just going to mix it up a slight bit more and make sure they're all well covered. So here's the point where you can see we still have room. So if you want more of the actual bake, you can go ahead and add 4 more eggs-ish in here to get that to 2 eggs per serving. Another option is if you kind of want to make this, fancy it up a little bit, you could go ahead and actually just crack the eggs over the top, so then you'll be left with fried eggs on top. You'd need more than 4 to kind of even it out, but you could go ahead and do an egg on each serving if you wanted to. So those are just some ideas for your preference of how you want it to look. We're going to go ahead and leave it like this. We will be baking this at 350 for roughly 20 minutes. And the reason it's such a low cook time is because all of our ingredients besides the eggs are quite warm. We've been cooking those for quite some time. So that cuts down on the cook time. Now if we had put these in the fridge in between and then combined all the cold ingredients, that cook time doubles to triples. Sometimes can take up to an hour for an egg bake. So start checking it at 20 minutes if you're using warm ingredients, and we'll show you how it turns out.